Magic, you have to be careful about this TSS squad. I said before we were talking, I think it's either going to be a 3-0 for Space Station or Space Station's going to lose this game 3-1.
So you're saying that they need to come out strong right now because TSS, I mean, I'm going to put Super CC at the top of my underrated players list, like the tippity top. Watch out for Super CC. He was great in Season 1, but Season 2, he has risen to another level.
Yeah, you know, shout out. I think they probably like the fact that Native Red got knocked down. They got to take over that spot, right? So Native Red needing a substitution. TSS takes that spot. And now they have to make the most out of the opportunity that they have been given.
Well, this is their chance, and we're heading into game number 1. Stellar is on the hunt, heat wave in hand, but he's getting shot from behind by no other than Super CC himself. But not only does Space Station have control of that heat wave, Bound with a sniper as well.
Yeah, Bound's really the player that makes this team work, right? They lost Renegade, and when they lost Renegade, they started to not have those first place performances again, right? And they brought in Bound, and Bound is very similar player to Renegade. I consider him like a carbon copy. Very aggressive, knows the movement, grinds the game, is just a natural talent. And now I finally feel like we're starting to see Space Station really find their identity and find the subtle differences between Bound and Renegade.
No, I agree that Bound is fitting in with this team like a glove. Came in last season, was voted Rookie of the Year by over 90% of the pro players, chose Bound as that Rookie of the Year. So now as he's settling into this roster, settling into his role, what can Space Station Gaming accomplish? Now, this roster, last year, we're in the top 2 at every LAN, but I feel like the competition has been heating up, and it's going to be tougher to do now than ever before.
Mortally gets behind. Everyone is able to get one, but they lost that opening hill. Magic as TSS, they tried to win that rotate. That was what Mortally job was. He got his team in position, but because he went down, suddenly we're seeing Bound and other players have an opportunity to get into their face. And Bound, he said, I don't need to use the combo. I'm sending you away, able to get the kill on Super CC.
Yeah, he didn't. He had that plasma pistol charged up, but opted for the repulsor play, is taken down. No time of consequence on the second hill yet, but Ego is looking for the back of Septimine. He doesn't find that final shot. Now Ego's caught out in the top mid area. 3 players from TSS rotating tower side, but it's the combined fire. Ego and Bound working in perfect harmony, and Ego trying desperately to stay alive.
Septified trying to dodge these nades. The drop shield comes out, but it's not enough to save his life. It's Bound on a crazy flank, and he's last alive, trying to do his damage. Bound gets 3. Swish, he hasn't stopped him. Bound still alive. Bound got behind his back, but Swish able to get the kill. But Bound, his whole team falls. He gets it done by himself, 1v4.
Yeah, single kill by single kill. He takes down the whole roster of TSS, and Bound is fully living up to the hype. Now the objective is the next matter up for business, and Penguin rotating through top mid has a sniper, quick body shot, right back to the sniper again for a clean double kill.
Now what's been surprising about this hill, right? We've been on this hill for quite a bit of time, and really neither team has that much to leverage with. There's not any time really being scored. This overshield might make the difference, and well, TSS has the better position, but Bound has the sniper rifle watching on that overshield spawn.
Oh, barely misses on the body shot. Now the repulsor to try to get that return to sender on the plasma grenade. Doesn't connect on the return to sender, but he did preserve his own life, especially because the sniper's in hand. Now he could milk out time on the hill, but the overshield is still what everybody's keeping their eyes on. Space Station Gaming are winning over the Slays.
I mean, they spent so much time to get this overshield, but you do have to ask the question, like, should have Bound been in that hill just getting time? They're probably close to capturing this hill at this point if he was.
Yeah, they really are prioritizing that overshield above all else, and I think then the next kind of string of kills will let us know, was it worth it? Because with every action, there's a reaction, and so we didn't get that time on the hill, but can we come through with that overshield play? Penguin sends 1 player for a swim. Ego picks up a double kill. TSS are down to just the last player, and I think it's Septify on the flank. Coming up from the bottom of C, here he is. Trapped between 2 Space Station Gaming players, so maybe that overshield was worth it.
Yeah, the overshield works out at the end, and, you know, Space Station, I don't think it's really a problem for them to overslay because the talent's there for them to overslay. Who can keep up with Bound, right? That's the question. He's been on an absolute tear. And so far, you know, it's Mortally. He's been getting kill after kill, and oh my God, he just got another big one. But I'd like to see one other player from TSS really work up to start stuffing the stat sheet alongside with him. But Magic, don't look too early. That hill's not captured yet. And TSS, they just got a full wipe. They have firm control.
Yeah, I'm having some Strong Hill Streets flashbacks right now as Space Station was right on the brink of the capture, and now TSS are in control of the hill. But it's Stellar being a nuisance over there from the dummy side ramp, and Septify can't stay alive. He has to back off. Looks like teammates are there to fill in.
That's so much confidence that Septify has in his teammates right there, right? You leave that hill too long, they get the capture. And, well, you saw it. The rest of TSS left to go get that overshield, and Penguin was waiting, saying, yeah, go get that overshield. We're going to capture this hill, and I'm going to keep you guys on the respawn screen. This overshield is mine. Penguin getting two. No one can stop him as that overshield is going in favor of Space Station. So not only do they not get the hill, they don't get the overshield on top of it. Disaster for TSS.
This is a disaster, and how are TSS going to have their disaster response system in place? Bound with the overshield, going in for the double kill. That play was set up by Penguin. No, it's a triple kill from Bound. 17 kills on the board, 3 go down. Space Station, no hesitation to get on the third hill.
It really does feel like a battle between Mortally and Bound at the moment. These two, the new up-and-comers in this scene, have been just lighting it up for both of their teams.
Oh my God.
The supporting cast of Space Station has been so good, but this is why you get Big Mort. Mort is the best in the game when it comes to making plays like that. Those fadeaway snipes, when you think he's out, he's going to hit something cracked.
Yeah, no surprise to see Mortally, who we've seen throughout the 1v1 series, as such a strong solo player, making some big solo plays, but to the benefit of his team. Now TSS have some time on this hill, and they need it. They cannot afford to go down 0-3. There's literally not time in the game for them to be down by 3 captures. They need to lock down this A side, and Super CC is alone on the side of scoreboard. There's 2 players from Space Station in front, but that ricochet grenade perfectly placed.
I love that play by Super CC. The way he stayed, right? He was so forward, but not making any presence until he knew it was time. When they didn't think he was there, he gets in, skips the grenade, gets the kill, and then the follow-up for his team to collapse creates an opportunity for TSS to get away with this hill.
TSS need to get away with this hill in completion. I'm still looking for that one on the scoreboard from them, but a significant play and advantage. And on top of that, now finally TSS have the overshield in play, just seconds away.
Mortally, 22 and 13. Make it 24. Double kill. Mortally is taking over this game.
Absolutely. You know, he heard you say it was a fight between him and Bound, and he said, let me take this fight right when it counts. And now TSS, off of that 0-2 deficit, are trying to tie up the game on this overshield side hill. Mortally has the heat wave. He has the momentum, and he is hunting down Space Station.
This kid has been waiting for his chance to just break into the scene. He knew he had something special with Super CC. They stayed together after their disappointing Worlds finish. And now it's season 2. It's the season of Big Mort. Mortally has been performing at his highest level today, and he is special to watch.
He's going to try to keep this kill streak going. He's already giving us quite the show, but the game's not over yet. Off-screen, Septify picks up a huge double kill. Bound is there at the top vent. I think now dropping down to bottom mid as you see that assist coming through. Mortally is pinning Space Station back in their spawn, and this whole time, Super CC is milking objective time.
We're only in hill 4, it's tied up. And suddenly, you know, what was a dominating performance from Space Station at the start of this game, Mortally has struck back. He is willing his team forward at 25 kills. He's on pace to be dropping a 40 bomb.
And Space Station still hasn't found an answer for him. It seems like time and time again, he's finding individual picks, and it's starting to snowball in the wrong direction for Space Station. Finally, Mortally gets taken down, but not before getting his team back to that tie.
And he got full value, and, well, Eco tries to find this kill on Septify, but that loss might be bigger than they can know. That overshield's going to be Septify's for the taking now. Bound gets the kill, but they have to give up everything else. Hill and overshield. Space Station need to have a coordinated break now.
And it looks like that break is trying to come through sandbags. You see every grenade on the map being flung at top mid. It's enough to melt the overshield, but Septify is still staying alive, at least for now. No grenades to work with. Stellar has to drop all the way down to bottom mid in order to sniff out that kill. And look who fills in right behind Septify. It's Mortally.
Mortally doing his best, and they chase him down. I think Space Station's making an effort to make sure they take him out at all costs. And finally, it's the clean wipe. Space Station has been on their back foot for what seems forever. Now they have possession. Now, Magic, I'm a little bit concerned about the game time at the bottom. It's 8 seconds. If I'm Space Station, I don't know. I think I get out of the hill. I force this to overtime. I say we're winning on this hill.
Well, it looks like that overtime is not happening just yet because we see a presence from TSS on the hill and then Space Station filling in. 3 seconds on the game clock, but as long as one player's in that hill, that clock is going to be stopped short. Both teams wanting to take this game-winning hill and not ready for that overtime to begin.
Mortally just made a big play. He gets rid of the heat wave out of Stellar's hands, and well, Eco's trying to make up for it. He gets behind two. It's the long distance pair, but Mortally, they still have to deal with Big Mort. He's able to get one more combo. Not going to affect Eco at all. He's on the hunt. You try to get away, you're not going anywhere. Septify gets the damage. No one from Space Station really here to take advantage. They're in hill, but TSS have a real chance to fight this one through.
There's 2 minutes added to the clock in this overtime, but looking at this hill, it's almost neck and neck. One stronghold is going to win it over. And here comes Eco, the pancake battle for the killing spree. Let's go.
But the overshield went in hands of Septify, but Stellar hits the shot. That's game. Stellar gets two with the sniper, puts them all on respawn, and Mortally's efforts aren't enough. 32-18. For the loss, but it was the coordinated efforts from Space Station at the end of the game, playing as a true unit to get that win.
I need a clip of the final 30 seconds of that game because it went from the pancake to the Stellar snipe double kill in order for SSG to clutch up after the additional time was added to the game. They showed up, they clutched up, they iced up, and look at across the board. Eco playing absolutely huge.
I will say, it's a great game from Space Station, and they got the job done, but Mortally's doing his thing. That was a pleasure to watch how one player can change the impact of a game, right? It was 2-0 for Space Station. They were on their thing, and then suddenly Mortally gets away with another life. He's finessing, he's staying alive, he gets the heat wave, power weapons start funneling to him, and 2 hills go in the favor of TSS. And I think what really changed that game was Mortally ran out of heat wave ammo, finally died, and then they weren't able to get that heat wave back in his hand again.
Yeah, when Mortally had the heat wave in hand, especially with the overshield paired with it, he was just a force on the map. Teammates locking down objective, as we said, but he was just left free to roam. Let him off his leash. Let him run wild and get the slays. His positioning was so smart. He kept up picking off Space Station players off of that respawn and honestly just being a nuisance until they found a way to deal with him. So any map with a heat wave, especially, Mortally's a player to watch out for.
Yeah, I think Mortally's going to be making a name for himself this season, especially with plays like that. It's these new players that have a ceiling that you just don't know about, right? It's like, how high can they go, right? And Mortally, I think his ceiling is up there with players like Bound, right? That's what we saw in this game. Yeah. It's like he can go blow for blow with Bound, but it's about raising that floor with the new players. And that's where a team like Space Station, they keep Bound in check. They're going to make sure Bound's floor is never below here, right?
Right.
Where Mortally can have a game where it's bad. You know what I'm saying? And that's not because Mortally's a bad player. It's just, it's more boom or bust with him because he just doesn't have the reps in that Bound has, especially with the caliber of players that Bound has.
Yeah, we talk about teams that are either very hot or very cold, right? They can be one side or the other, but there's also players that share that same thing. Either they are popping off like we saw from Mortally in game number 1. Ultimately, it wasn't enough to come out with a win, but it showed us what Mortally can do, and hopefully Space Station Gaming continue to find that answer to keep him shut down. Maybe he comes back in game 2 and shows us that consistency that we're looking for.
So far, Space Station strike first, 2 go down, and Bound trying to get the third. And Space Station, it's methodical with how they break in to TSS's setup. They're able to get the rockets away. Everything goes right for Space Station.
Super CC on the flank rotation has Eco plus rockets trapped, ends up as a trade, and Eco very wisely fired off both rockets. So even as he goes down, he's not giving over any rockets to TSS. In the early stages of the Slayer, we're back to neck and neck. No rockets, but watch out, Bulldog. We got Stalker Rifle, and just as I say it, Bound had the option of both.
I guess one up for his team. They want to share the love around. Fortunately, that flank comes in. It's Mortally. He's not done with anything quite yet. He got in, got the 2 most important kills. His teammates finished the rest. Bound first on respawn screen, but the power weapons have changed hands. And Mortally, he doesn't feel like sharing. He's taking it all.
No sharing from Mortally. Stalker plus Bulldog combination in his hands. He is the most deadly player on the map right now. And TSS need for him to pop off of those weapons. But he needs to wait for the right timing. Look at Penguin. Bottom A going to get caught out. But there's 3 players in a line from Space Station Gaming. Mortally says, this is not my opportunity. This is not my time. Doubles back, waiting for teammates off of that respawn.
Yeah, TSS need to find a way to get together, right? They're so separated during those fights. You can see Space Station, they're roaming as a pack of 3 and leaving one player to pick up the rest. And this is tough. TSS is just having a hard time dealing with this pressure. They have Mortally of all these power weapons, but there's just no room given. But it doesn't. Sometimes you can make some lemonade out of lemons, but there's just no one else to follow up to that play that Mortally just made.
Yeah, the fact that Mortally made that a trade is impressive because he didn't know that Bound was around that kind of half corner on his left. Bound had the initial damage onto Mortally. Good adjustment for that to come out as a trade. And then round 2 of Rockets back in the hands of Eco. He gets a takedown. He is traded back out. And Space Station for the first time are starting to creep up that scoreboard, starting to get a nice little chunk of lead.
Septify wants to get right into the face, and they need to prevent Space Station from getting together. But the second Space Station get into that 3 stack where they're having each other's help, that's where they were dangerous. That's where they are able to isolate their fights, pick what they wanted to fight, and that's where we saw TSS see the separation between them and Space Station. This time, you need to put pressure when you see it. Unfortunately, there's just too much from Space Station. They're able to get a couple more kills. Bound gets the 3rd. And TSS sees the respawn screen once again.
We're inching up toward the halfway point of this game. Eco has 1 drop wall and his BR, and that's it. Players 1 shot in front of him. It's Septify. He gets the takedown, using that drop wall to try to recharge the shields. But here comes the flank. The flank is in. Still a 5-point deficit and no power weapons to speak of.
Now, this is the difference between Season 1 and Season 2, right? Bound ran out of Stalker Rifle. Now it's a minute until that next Stalker Rifle's up, and that's going to be even more important for these coaches. Remember?
Yeah.
The game 1, I think it got away from TSS because that heat wave wasn't up, and I have to question it. Does TSS have a coach who was there, who's keeping track of those timers? Because keeping control of Red Gun, keeping control of the Bulldog can be the difference in this game. And I'll say is the difference in this game, and Super CC ready for that shotgun this time around.
Yeah, perfectly cute. Either there's a coach in the ear or Super CC with the presence of mind and awareness to know that that Bulldog was going to be back in play. Camped out there and was rewarded for that patience with a fresh Bulldog. But we got Rockets, this time not in the hands of Space Station. This time, it could be the equalizer in the hands of Mortally as they tie up the game. He's looking for 1 more. He gets enough damage onto Penguin. The assist comes through. Space Station goes 4 down.
Right, and I love this combination. It's the duo from last season, Super CC and Mortally, who are leading the charge for their team. Super CC has been underrated for so long. He is a natural born leader. I think he has the ability to make this team go far, and teaming him up with just a natural slayer like Mortally, yes, I think is a recipe for success. And these two are playing so well off each other right now, and they're going toe for toe with an impressive Space Station roster.
You know what? Peanut butter and bananas is a great flavor combination. And now we got the player combination that everybody loves. The combination of Super CC plus Mortally has sure led TSS to get this spot in pool play. And right now we're looking at a deadlocked game. TSS with just that slimmest of advantage and mortally taken down. This is the chance for Space Station.
I love how methodical Space Station is when they don't have control of the game, right? They lost the power weapons. They're not quick. They're not just trying to get into your face and be aggressive and feed kills to the opposing team. They're waiting for their opportunity. And then once they're ready to go, they all go at once. And we've seen them multiple times now take down Mortally, of how Mortally really being able to fire back an answer shot when he has the power weapon.
Back to a tie game, 39 all. Swish is flushed out of PD. Almost had enough time to recharge that shield, but had to re-engage a little bit too early. But Eco in a sneaky little corner just outside a red room, and he ducked at the perfect time to break line of sight, to stay hidden until the perfect moment. Eco with the grenade takedown off of that smart and patient play.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. He ducks in because he's listening to the footsteps. He's using sound cues to break line of sight and to know, oh, once I double back right away, they're not going to know I'm here. And it could be the difference maker. We've been dead even for the last 2 minutes, and that play by Eco, it gives them a 2-kill lead to work with now, but you still have to execute on the last phase of this game. You're chasing the king around the board. You have to set up mates.
Here comes Stellar on the chase for the kills, but not overextending. That patience once again from Space Station Gaming. They have the setup that they want. They're trying to get some team fire. Stellar has 2, make it 3 players weakened, but he doesn't clean up on any of those kills. Instead, it's TSS putting kill after kill up on the board. They stolen back the lead.
Oh no, they've blundered a piece away. They had a finish, but suddenly we're at an equal position. Space Station trying to recover. They regain their lead, but nothing is safe at this point. They don't have any power weapons to work with. On the other side, TSS, they have the Stalker rifle. Stellar's waiting for that shotgun. Once he has that, he's going to have open. He's going to try to push through that purple lane and try to get into a face of a couple players.
And there it is, waiting for that Bulldog to spawn in. Watch out for Stellar on that flank play as the distraction on the opposite side. Only 1 kill left for Space Station. Mortally gets a Stalker rifle kill. They need 2. Space Station need 1.
Look at TSS. They're all together, all 4 of them, running as a unit. Does Space Station go for the rockets right away, or is TSS going to use that as bait? Eco creeping up, him and Bound working together. TSS have completely rotated out. Rockets coming up in 3 seconds. What does Space Station do?
Rockets have spawned in. Nobody initially making the break for them. Eco has great damage. The Rockets are away, but it's Penguin. Penguin finds the pick for the win.
That was insane. I can't believe. I don't know who died at the end. Did you see?
I don't.
Mortally died at the end.
Oh no.
TSS made an insane play. Remember, so I was saying what was going to happen to those rockets.
Right.
We saw a plasma grenade drop at that moment. That was TSS nading the rockets to themselves. They got the rockets. Mortally trying to get information for their rocket player, pushes a step too far, and Space Station immediately zones in on that kill. They take him down before the rocket player can go in, and the rocket player gets 2 kills at the end of that game. Incredible
play for those Rockets. Do you have X-ray vision? You're seeing more that's happening on the gameplay than is actually being shown to us. The inside knowledge is great.
It's insane that TSS knew, and they knew how to win that game, right? They're like, okay, we don't have to look at rockets, we can nade it to ourselves. And then they had Mortally, who's that perimeter player, try to get information for their rocket player to make the play. The problem is that Mortally takes a step too far. And that step too far ends up costing them dearly. And it's just, God, this TSS team is fun to watch, and Space Station is just as fun to watch. This is like one of the great matches that we're going to see today. We've had some bangers, but honestly, this is so much fun. And what I was really impressed with from our Space Station side is how they play without power weapon control. It's methodical. It's thought out. It's systematic in the way that they break down the walls of a strong offensive unit.
And I mean, that's what they need to do in this series, right? When you're going up against a strong gun player like Mortally, the way that you can break down an individual strong Slayer is by wearing them down, whether that comes to patience or just smart, calculated plays. like I think that example of that last play that you broke down is a perfect example of that. Mortally didn't make a bad play. He just overextended a little bit too far, and Space Station, being patient, didn't rush for the rockets. They were ready for someone to get out in the open for them to focus fire out and take down. And ultimately that play for rockets is what lost TSS the game, because Space Station weren't going to let them use the rockets. Maybe pick them up, but not really put them to use.
Yeah, and it's honestly, if Mortally gets around that corner, like, it's TSS's game. They win, right? And I think it's a well thought out play by both sides. It's just the execution is just that much better for Space Station. When we're talking about competitive Halo on the highest level, right? This is the most competitive HCS season I think I've seen in a long time when it comes to the top 8 teams. It's this that's going to make the difference, right? It's these plays, and we've seen it thus far, right? Game 5, Optic and Quadrant. What's the difference? It's this from Formal, him being better, right? It's those differences between Optic, FaZe, G1, SSG that are going to separate them from these highly competitive top 8, top 12 teams.
It's going to be down to every single play. Every last kill can tip the scale when the competition is this neck and neck. And right out the gates, Mortally with the sniper, but quickly shut down. And it's Penguin with the rockets in hand. Already a flagpole is in for Space Station.
Penguin wraps this corner, keeping these rockets for his team. And Septify is going to have a rude awakening. He goes down. This flag still out, and Eco sitting in a position to potentially grab this. Mortally gets the kill. I think this should be enough for TSS to recover. Now, keep an eye on Stellar, Magic. He is one of the most underrated. I don't want to say underrated, but he's great with the sniper rifle. I don't think people talk about Stellar sniper enough.
All right, Stellar plus sniper equals death, according to Tools, and we'll keep our eyes open. 2 rounds left for Stellar to utilize. And there's one. Let's go. Can we get 2 for 2? He's looking across. It's Septify possibly on the other end of the sniper over at Long Haul. But again, that calculated patience from Space Station is coming into play. Stellar has 2 targets just around the corner. Penguin deals with 1, but it's the flank coming in. Stellar quickly snapping around. He barely catches the corner of the wall with that second snipe. He's going to have to wait for that weapon to respawn.
Comes around that corner. We're going to see trade outs, and this is the game within the game. It's how do you set yourself up for the push. And Space Station, this is where they're the best in the game, is how they set themselves up for that final push. They let Septify go through. Septify's going to try to buy his team time, and now this beautiful setup that we see on the other side of Space Station, Septify's put in danger because on this counter side, we're seeing a counterweight push. So both bases are controlled by the opposite team at the moment.
Yeah, very much setting up to be a counter pull opportunity or a flag duel opportunity, as that happens exactly as you predicted. Both flags are out. Super CC tossing kind of a defensive grenade across mid, and now he's going to double back. Super CC is trying to do it all. He's playing offense, he's playing defense, and he has too much to deal with. Slays are going in the favor of Space Station, but just like that, TSS are finding their own footing. Those flags are just almost holding hands on Long Haul side.
Swish needs to stay alive. Those nades are going to be enough, and oh, this is dangerous from TSS. They need to get this return, but it's in a precarious situation. The flag is keeping itself alive. No, there we go. The return finally comes in. And the difference between that being a capture for TSS and not is because of the drop shield that goes in the hands of Stellar. Everything changed because of that drop shield play. And now it's going to be equal footing and bound. I mean, that overshield didn't last too long.
No, what overshield? I didn't see much more than a normal shield in that situation.
Just have yellow, it's the yellow SSG skin. That's why it's all yellow.
Oh.
It's to confuse you. It's not an overshield. It's just the SSG skin.
It's just the SSG skin. I get it now. I've learned so much. Great plays from both sides, but here is a clean run thus far from Penguin, and Space Station are winning that round of slice to not just get to the flag, but also clearing out. Like, this looks so free. It looks so easy. Penguin just waltzing into the base. That's the first capture up on the board, and it's Eco with the sniper who is picking off TSS. They are in a dangerous spawn trap.
Eco got the sniper away. Mortally needs to take him down, but Eco just has one shot too much. And Swish is going to give him some. I mean, that looked like a pigeon in the sky, and that's just some good old shotgun shoot, and Eco breaks through everything, and he has the power position with the sniper.
Eco has been coming out huge in this series, 8-4 right now with that sniper at the top of tower, and he's going to watch for this chase. Here comes Septify. Oh, that shot just barely missed with the snipe, but Penguin is sneaking away the flag, dropping it to Slay out. He is going to be taken down, looking for a potential reset here. As Swish is also eliminated, though, Space Station could get another touch on this flag. It's only halfway on the reset. Finally, TSS finding the slays they need to see that reset fully go through.
Yeah, that was a scary situation. Wardley comes big with a double kill to get them out of it, but what's interesting is that the two pulls that we've seen from Space Station that look like they could get home, one didn't, is that it's gone through Sniper's side. Now, in Halo 3, the meta was strongly established that you don't run flags through Snipe side. You don't go through Sword with your flag. You go through long haul. We've seen that replicated in Halo Infinite, but so far, Space Station, their couple attempts have gone the same way. They've gone towards Sword. Morley has a big play to make here. Penguin has this overshield. He needs to take care of it as fast as possible. And, well, a couple heat wave shots to the back. Yeah, no overshield. It's the skin, I'm telling you.
It's back-to-back times that Space Station had that overshield, and then it's just as quickly eliminated. Great patience and play there with the heat wave to just insta-melt that overshield. You got to be careful. They are ready for that. And now we see finally TSS putting pressure on the base of Space Station. They have the kills to count for it. Bound is last alive. Septify is going to grab this flag. And look at, he's rotating sniper side as well.
They're going through this snipe. Now, there was one season of Halo 3 in 2020 that really started to show, 2019, that really started to show off the Sword side run. It was Commonly's team that started to push snipe runs. And I think we might be seeing a shift in the meta where now you have to account for two runs, right? The Sword side and the long haul. And, well, this is dangerous for TSS. They just went 4 down. They lost all power weapons. This might be where the game gets out of control. And now it's the long haul side. Look at the spawns. They're all towards snipe. And Penguin has one snipe. Eco has the other. There's nothing you can do.
Space Station have the chokehold on this map right now, and they get the second capture. It was Bound with the triple kill, utilizing that rocket pickup and then shifting so smoothly from being the slayer to the objective player, running the flag while teammates gave cover with snipes. I mean, that was almost a textbook run for Space Station Gaming.
And Bound trying to make this sidekick pistol look real cool. Try to get that long-range shot down on Swish. His teammate finds the kill at Sword. And, well, Space Station, when they start to feel freedom on the map, they start to feel a groove that they can put themselves into. And this is where Space Station are deadly. When they start to feel like they have control of everything, they don't have to pay any respect to these members on TSS. They're starting to find their spots.
Now, I do remember a 2-0 CTF Empyrean lead earlier. Does he fall off? He tries the little bunny hop. I wish you guys could see right now. Tools waving at the camera. Bye-bye. See you later. Bound is 17-8 right now, doubling up on the kills and deaths and another perfect takedown.
Bound is Bound. He is him, and he is pulling out another flag. Swish got the rockets. It's going to be enough to put Bound to 1, and they're going to get the cleanup, but they just... They have a problem. It's Space Station is just in their face constantly. And Swish is having to play a very defensive role with these rockets right now. Usually you want these rockets to push you into the base for a pull.
Right.
They're just trying to deal with the pressure that Space Station has in front of them.
Yeah, and even with that rocket kill, it's Bound who finds the takedown yet again, not making any forward map progress, not locking down any spawns. Instead, it's Bound once again at that sniper tower. Oh, he gets caught by a stray bullet from Mortally just before his shield was about to regenerate. This is the opportunity TSS need to capitalize on because they are running out of time to get back in this game.
Yeah, the problem is every time they're trying to get forward, it's a player from Space Station who just gets a trade that you can't afford. And TSS just hasn't been able to cleanly push into the base to get themselves a flag away. And Swish is trying to lead that charge, but once again, it's Space Station who gets the opening kill. They're breaking in, right? They've taken over the half line, but they just don't have the numbers to follow up with the flag plays.
Yeah, even from the eye check, you can tell the Space Station are definitely leading the way on slays overall, an advantage of about, I don't know, I'll say 12 or so kills for them. And this is it. TSS, they need this flag run to go all the way through, but Swish is not feeling comfortable enough to get that grab just yet. He knows that there's still Space Station members here. Stellar's right around the corner. Swish could get the back smack, but he's going to use that side kick for the takedown. But all this time, Space Station are buying. Swish might be a nuisance to the back of the base, but he's not running the flag.
Swish is, he's got a couple kills, but even after those kills, there's nowhere to go.
Exactly.
There's no follow-up. He's going to throw this flag out. He has to wait for his team. This pistol is enough to keep them away. Morley finishes one. The team nade kills Stellar, and now Swish can finally start pushing through. And Bound just hits him with the snipe. Double positive, double kill, triple kill. Bound is doing it all. He's pushing forward, flag away. Team wipe TSS all down, and Bound takes his rightful spot in the power position.
What a heartbreaker for TSS. They were all but desperate for that flag capture, and Bound single-handedly shut it down. And here he is back on the sniper tower. It's just a stranglehold that Space Station Gaming has on the TSS spawns. Penguin trying to deal with the overshield, uses 2 rockets. He has the help. Space Station are not letting anybody cross this half-field line.
Over has scored, what, 90 seconds to make something happen. Wardley's going to get a little desperate, trying to overextend it. Well, Penguin says, I'll take the free headshot. There's just nothing TSS can do. They're just out of numbers, and it's going to be so hard to get together and gain numbers on this push because you're racing against the clock.
The race against the clock is really where the stats start to snowball. You know, kills and death are still important, but it's about the objective. You can't do anything without getting a capture on the board. And, you know, I tell you what, if they don't get a hand on the flag in the next, like, 30 seconds, they're going to be in a desperate position. They already are. Ego is 19-14 right now, and he is patient once again. Space Station with those calculated, smart, patient plays. They are stalling for time.
Yeah, I think they're running out of time. Septified needed to get this kill right away. Those couple seconds that you don't get the kill, they cost dearly. Stellar's keeping Morley at the back. Morley has to ego. Morley goes down, and that's going to be the game. There's no follow-up. Swish is so far away. Space Station get the job done 3-0, but we see the potential that TSS has. I mean, this could easily be a 3-1 in the favor of TSS if the first 2 games go differently.
Yeah, it's been a very competitive series, and sometimes you look at a 3-0 and you think, oh, it was a clean sweep. It was an easy win. I think only in this game 3 did you really, truly see the dominant performance from Space Station Gaming. Games 1 and 2, TSS were right there. And so I don't think when they come back to it, they're not going to be kicking themselves from the game 3. They're going to look back at games 1 and 2. What small changes could we have made it to shift the scale in their favor?
Yeah, but the other thing is this TSS team is young, and it's frustrating when you're this young and upcoming team. It's like, we're right there. We could have done it. This went wrong. That went wrong. You have a tendency to point fingers at each other, and that's where I want to see a player like Super CC step up and be a leader and be like, look, we need to be head down, focusing on tomorrow. We need to be getting out to this pool and proving ourselves in the champ bracket. But I am so high on this TSS team. I think they are a phenomenal squad, and I think they really have a chance to create some upsets. This was my team to watch coming out of the open bracket. Now, not in the open bracket, right? Getting their spot in pool play, and I think they're showing the world that they are something to look at, right? It's a 3-0, but it's the least convincing 3-0 I've ever seen.
Yeah, honestly, a great statement right there. Definitely, TSS was in my top 3 of teams to watch in the open bracket. I also had leftovers up there as well, so I don't know, maybe open bracket picks are not my forte so much. A great run here from TSS, but again, games 1 and 2, they fell just a hair too short. I mean, game 1, they took it to extended time in that King of the Hill match. That shows you, how close that first match was. I would have liked to see how the series played out if they had taken that first game, which was just seconds away.
And, Space Station, they do their thing. I mean, I think Bound is him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did a phenomenal job throughout all of that, and I think there's a lot to be proud of. And I think it's, you know, it's not like Space Station should be dominating 3-0 over TSS. I think TSS is a very good team, and Space Station just shows that being that much better is what the difference is.
Yeah, experience definitely making the difference throughout that series. Great stuff there from the side of SSG to show that they are locked in as a solid team of 4 up against some pretty heavy competition in the way of TSS. So that's going to be it for our day 1 coverage